Right now, we have the pleasure of having Natasha Miller of Entire Productions with us today. How are you doing, Natasha?
I'm really good now that I'm talking to you.
Thank you. Oh, so sweet. Definitely sets the tone for this whole recording. So please tell us who you are and what does your company do?
So, our company, Entire Productions, I created 20 years ago after being a classical violinist and a jazz
Okay.
vocalist and being booked so much. And now we are a full production event and entertainment booking company. And we do live in person events before March and switched to virtual. Our clients are Google and Apple and Facebook and Salesforce. And it's been an amazing ride. I'm not sure if this is a good time to tell you what I'm doing in the future. Maybe we can get to that later.
Yes, we definitely will, because I know listeners will want to hear about that. Absolutely. So you have the background as far as you said, being a violinist and jazz, and so you took that and made a business with it, which is amazing. So how do you create fresh opportunities to best serve your customers?
Right now, because of the pandemic, we
Mm-hmm.
were really faced with trying to figure out a way to keep our business, going. The only way to keep a business going is that you have to have demand, right? So all of our clients were doing in-person events, and a lot of them. And it took them a little bit to wrap their heads around how long they're going to not be able to do in person. And so it took a couple months for them to get on the virtual event roller coaster. And we were already there. As of
Okay.
March, we created a first to market show called the Entire Variety Show. And now all of our clients are having us program a variety show for them uh, virtually, which has just been amazing. So that is a fresh new offering
Mm-hmm.
that came because of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. And so do you think like basically being ready and that you made that transition as, an owner as a business kind of then probably gave the confidence to your clients and your customers to follow suit, even if it took a little bit to do so?
Yes, we definitely were leading the way because it was a knee-jerk reaction for me. I woke up March 17th and I realized that it was going to, it was
Mm-hmm.
going to be pretty dire. So I created something in that flight or fight moment
Mm.
and then waited for them to come. And
Okay.
they did come. They would have had to transition to virtual anyway, whether I was leading the way or not. But I'm proud that we came up with a solution that is really good and everyone is really enjoying.
Great. I'm glad that transition was able to happen. So, like you said, you still have that demand, you still have that success. And so, how do you leverage flexibility then to think outside the box? You already have, and how do you continue to do so?
I did, and I am doing in so many ways. So another thing our company did was we opened a new division in promotional premium gifted items. So every one of our clients needs to buy stuff to gift internally, but also to their speakers and to
Mhm.
their attendees, sometimes with their logo on it, sometimes not. And so we created this new division and we did, I think, over $100,000 in sales with no startup costs in a month. I would have been too busy to do that before the pandemic, but all of a sudden I'm like, pandemic, let's do it all.
I got it. Yeah. That is wonderful. So it really gave you more time. I mean, it served as an opportunity. And I think that's where a lot of people are at, where we're in these times. These are the circumstances. How are we going to leverage it?
Do you know, I don't think I really had any more time because I had
Mm.
to spend all that time trying to figure out how to save my business. But what I had was space in my brain that I carved
Okay.
out and
Mm-hmm.
allowed to focus on these two things. So now we have two completely new divisions, virtual events, promotional branded gifted items. And when everyone starts to do in-person events, can you imagine? It's going to double our business
Yes, people are gonna be
without,
excited to
yeah,
be
without
back.
doing any additional marketing.
Hmm. Wow, absolutely. And so then what makes up your secret sauce to set you apart from the rest of the industry?
In the business or me as a CEO founder?
Both. If they're different, please share.
They are different. So As a CEO founder, I think the differentiation is um, I am ready. I'm actually my best self in a challenge.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's because probably of my experience growing up, which was not great.
Mm-hmm.
And this leads into the memoir that I just finished and will
Okay.
be published next year. And so that gives me an upper edge. So when I'm faced with a challenge, the differentiation between me and other people that are CEO founders is I, I I fight it, I fix it, I move on,
Mm.
and I move up. And then
Yes.
as far as differentiation as a company, we have quite a few differentiating factors. Our industry of events and entertainment is not terribly sophisticated, but since 2012, I have had this very sophisticated system that I built within Salesforce that allowed us to do, for instance, 777 events in 1 year with
Mm.
2 people in operations. And that's because we automated and controlled the input and the output of information on everything that was repeatable. And
Mm.
then everything that is high touch is high touch. So we do high end events, but we do many of them. Usually you're either luxury and few or volume and not so high
High
end.
end, right. Okay.
So that's just one. That's one I'll give you.
There's a lot of them. We'll just keep the secrets in the box. I love that. That's the first time I've heard the difference between, the CEO, what sets you apart, and then the business, because it really does take the CEO to have an edge as well in order to
Yes,
have that edge.
absolutely. Yeah.
And so you mentioned the memoir. Please go into that about a book and a podcast coming out. Please go ahead, brag.
Yes,
Tell
yes,
us
yes.
about it.
Okay. So I started writing the book 2 years ago. The working title, and I don't know if it'll be published with this, but it's called Relentless Tenacity,
Mm-hmm.
My Journey from a Homeless Shelter to the Inc.
Wow.
5000.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes. Mm.
that pretty much says it all.
Mm.
But that book, I knew in the back of my head in the last couple of years of writing it that I wanted to have a course for entrepreneurs to sort of follow out of the book. I
Mm.
don't want to be a professional speaker. Of course, I will speak when the book is released, but I don't want a career change into being a public speaker.
Okay.
But I do want to teach entrepreneurs, both brand new entrepreneurs and those making millions of dollars, in the way that I was taught in the last 5 years,
Mm.
because really I was self-made up until 5 years ago. Then I studied at Babson through the 10K SB program,
Okay.
and then a class at Harvard, and then an entrepreneurial master's class at MIT. And I want to take everything that I learned from that, everything that I figured out myself, everything that I learned from mentors and advisors that made me not only, an Inc. 5000 recipient, but a profitable company,
Mm-hmm.
and put that into play. And so I'm writing the course now. It'll launch next year. And then I'm creating a podcast and actually starting to interview people this week for the
Lovely.
podcast called Fascinating Entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So those 3 things are pretty big because it's all a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm an expert in events and entertainment. I'm not an expert in teaching. I'm not an expert in creating or marketing a digital course. But you know what? I'm having a blast learning and becoming an expert.
Right. And it serves as an example that you don't have to just stay in your one lane or your one realm. It's you go out and you learn new things and you don't know what you're gonna learn and who you're gonna impact. And I think that's gonna be a beautiful
Yes.
example for your clients, customers, podcast guests, book readers, everything. That is so exciting.
Yeah, one of the things I have been realizing is that I only thought I would be a performer for all of my life.
Mm.
I was going to be a classical violinist, then I got to be a jazz vocalist, and really, I just thought that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it was informing me of what I'm doing now with Entire Productions. And guess what? All of those 2 things, performance, Entire Productions, is informing me and leading me to this next segment of life. Pretty
Yes,
cool.
it is. It's very exciting. And so I know another thing as far as the future, you have some shows coming up, including a holiday concert. Please tell our listeners about those and how they can attend.
Yes. So I haven't performed live in 5 years. So after 7 CDs and usually
Oh.
performing in concerts for 400 people or so, I put that to the side to really concentrate, but I'm doing a holiday concert on December 23rd. Not sure when this is going to air, but even if it airs after that, there'll be a link available. But you can get tickets at my website, natashamiller.co. And you can also download a freebie about how to find more profit in your business on that site. And my record label's URL is poignantrecords.com.
Okay.
I've got a lot of things going on, but honestly, when you go outside to, go to meetings and go to work, that takes so much time. When you have to like figure out what to wear, that's another whole hour of getting yourself looking all, zhuzhed up.
Nice. Yeah.
I got a little time now.
Hmm. Oh, that is so amazing. So amazing. I get to see your energy, that you're excited about it, you're looking forward to it. And so a lot of things coming in the future, but where do you see your business going in the next few years? What is your vision and how do you plan to accomplish that?
I had to lay off half of my team, and it
Wow.
felt horrific to do so.
Mhm.
But what feels great is the smaller team that I have, 6 people, they're all self-managing, they're all kicking butt, and I like the smaller version of the company.
Mm.
So we're going to continue to grow and scale. I want to grow my profitability, and within the smaller organization, our revenue will be different,
Mhm.
but it'll be more manageable.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for, we have 2 new divisions. Our revenues will double when things start coming back to in person. And, eventually I may try to look at being able to make all of my employees an owner of the company or
Okay.
something to that effect, to really give back to them and thank them for working their butts off during this time.
Right. So you completely acknowledge the fact that, you are your company. You need those people, their help to get to where you are today and to continue to move forward. And I love that you just even have that idea and expectation of where you're going to go to pay it forward and pay it back to them.
Yep.
Awesome. So where, besides your website, where are other good platforms for people to get more information just about you, or if they just want to know about you, watch you perform? So
Yeah.
great.
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn.
Okay.
So Natasha Miller SF for San Francisco is my most common handle on those sites. And I'm pretty active on all of them. I think, if this is airing before December 23rd, it would be so incredible for me to see people coming to that. You can get tickets, the tickets. I know I said that you could do
Mm-hmm.
natashamiller.co, poignantrecords.com, but
Mm-hmm.
if you go to Eventbrite, it's Natasha Miller Holiday Concert.eventbrite.com.
Okay. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Natasha Miller, again, natashamiller.co. So many things coming up in the future and looking forward to seeing about all of that. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It was really nice to meet you.
You as well.